All right, definitely probably gonna sound tired in this one, but that's okay. Shooter Sanders' long wait ends when Browns take him in the fifth round of the NFL draft. Shooter Sanders dealt with his shockingly long wait to get drafted by relying on the same approach that made him an NFL prospect in the first place. The Colorado quarterback wouldn't let himself get down about anything, even when he received a prank call while waiting to hear that a team had selected him. When the Cleveland Browns finally took him in the fifth round Saturday, 4 rounds later than he was expected to go, the son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders reacted by dancing and jumping into a swimming pool. That's what it's about, Sanders said. You can't be up too low or anything. You got to be able to celebrate. When we score a touchdown, we celebrate for a little bit. And now it's back to it's time to work. It's time to go. All it is a football game to me, and that's how I view it. He wasn't selected until the 144th overall pick, a stunning fall for the most recognizable player in this draft class. Draft forecast generally rated Sanders behind only Miami's Cam Ward, who went first overall to the Titans among quarterbacks in this class. 5 quarterbacks were taken before him instead, with one of them going to Cleveland when the Browns picked Oregon's Dylan Gabriel in the third round. So, 5 quarterbacks were taken before him. Instead, with one of them going to Cleveland when the Browns picked Oregon's Dylan Gabriel in the third round. So 5 quarterbacks were taken before him. Okay? And he was drafted in the fifth round. Okay? It wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to select 2 quarterbacks, Browns general manager Andrew Berry said, but we do best, or we do, but we do believe in best player available and positional value, and we didn't necessarily expect Sanders to be available in the fifth round. I'm going to say otherwise. I'm going to say y'all knew. And I can already see this storyline playing out. I don't know. I just have a feeling that Gabriel's probably going to get some more playing time there. And this storyline and this narrative is kind of set up here. For him to fall to fifth, I mean, that was the fifth round. That was totally unexpected, okay? The Browns moved up to take Sanders, and look, they traded their own fifth round pick, which was number 166 overall, and a 6th round selection, number 192, to Seattle in exchange for number 144. So 144 is a big number here. And I will tell you, with this breakdown, I didn't enter anything into the Gematria calculator. This breakdown's more about connections, that other stories connect to this story, and it's absolutely amazing. I left it like that because it just came, and it came fast, um, with how this synced up with these other characters on the world stage, okay? And he has a brother named Shiloh who was live streaming the proceedings on Twitch also. Sanders could be seen putting on a Browns cap and dancing at his family's Texas home. Another video shared on X by the NFL showed Sanders jumping into the pool. Okay. So he's taken in the 5th round. So check this out. And they say 5 quarterbacks before him. Let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and open this. All right, so Shedeur Sanders, look how this is all with the language here with these trending stories, okay? So he's out of Colorado, drafted round 5, pick 144. So look, Shedeur Sanders, look at that SS as Shannon Sharpe is trending, former legend tight end, right? As he's trending, stepping away temporarily from ESPN amid sexual assault lawsuit. Look at the language. SS Shannon Sharpe trending as SS Shedeur Sanders is trending. You see that? And the sexual assault for Shannon Sharpe, that's another S, right? Notice Deion Sanders, this is Shedeur Sanders' father and coach of Colorado, right? Where Shedeur Sanders played, which is, that's strange, right? But notice his birthday, August 9th. The father to Shedeur, Deion Sanders, has the August 9th birthday. Is he still at Buffalo, by the way? Let's look over here. So you see the 8-9 birthday. American football coach with the Colorado Buffaloes, also a former professional football player and baseball player, having played in the NFL for 14 seasons. Okay, so the current coach for the Colorado Buffaloes were Shedeur Sanders was the quarterback, okay? Look at the birthday here, August 9th. Look, it's the same birthday as Virginia Giuffre, okay? Who accused Prince Andrew in the Epstein sex trafficking scandal. She died a suicide. So suicide S, sex trafficking scandal. You see that? SS. Shannon Sharpe SS. Shedeur Sanders SS. And she has the same birthday as Deion Sanders. You see that? August 9. August 9. Deion Sanders is also born in 1967. 67 is the 19th prime number, and S is the 19th letter of the alphabet. Okay? So you get all these S's, and you get all of this stuff trending right here. You see that? And the same birthday with the August 9. That's absolutely amazing right there. And don't forget, this was connected to Queen Elizabeth II, as Prince Andrew was her son. And remember, the Pope just recently died on Queen Elizabeth II's birthday. And Prince in history also died on that day. The Queen Elizabeth II, she died on September 8th, right? Or the 8th day of the 9th month, which connects here as well. And don't forget the Queen in 2022, she died on opening day of the NFL season. All right, so you see how all of this comes together and all of this cycles back around and how it all hits. Now, it's not a coincidence that Shannon Sharpe is trending, as I just stated, and you got the language here with the S's. It's not a coincidence that he played for the Denver Broncos, right? Denver, like Colorado, Denver, Colorado, Broncos, Buffaloes, right? You see that? Shedeur Sanders, his father Deion, synced up with the Colorado Buffaloes. You see that? Colorado and Denver. And I think that there's some kind of relation here between Shannon Sharpe and the Sanders family. If you ask my opinion, And these connections to me show that there's more going on here that maybe we're not made aware of, right? So you could say that's my opinion. I think there's some kind of relation here that they're covering up with these characters, okay? And these patterns are undeniable. Dion even played for the Ravens, as did Shannon Sharp. So you get that Colorado connection, Denver connection, right? And remember, Shedeur Sanders was the quarterback at Colorado. And you see the Denver, Colorado, and the Buffaloes and the Broncos. You see that connection? And you see the Baltimore Ravens connection. Baltimore's got B like Broncos, B like Buffaloes. Okay? Follow me? So you see Shannon Sharp, you see the father, Deion Sanders, to Shedeur here. You see how they were both members of the Baltimore Ravens. I didn't look and see if it was at the same time, but that's besides the point right now. You see the Ravens jerseys, you see the two characters, you see they were both a member of the Ravens. And this stuff is not a coincidence. They both kind of had arrogant, kind of like cocky attitudes in a way. Big, Shannon Sharp, a big trash talker. Deion Sanders, you could definitely probably say that as well. Okay, prime time Deion Sanders. And notice that 37 on Deion right there with the Ravens. Because this story was just trending, I just dropped the breakdown. The NBA playoffs, Gary Trent Jr. with 37 points. And to match him, Giannis Antetokounmpo has 37 points in that victory over the Pacers in Game 3. Pacers equals 37. Look how that works right there. You see that? That was the last breakdown I did. How amazing is that? And look at the birthday for Shedeur Sanders. February 7. Look at that. 2002. So 2-7. Gary, it's still Juan or Dejan. Still not sure. But the full name for Gary Trent Jr., 207. And that breakdown, he tied Ray Allen for the most threes all time in a playoff game for the Bucks with 9. Look at Ray Allen. You see he was born the 20th day of the 7th month, 207, like Gary Dejan Trent Jr. equals 207. And you see how 207 is like 27 with the February 7 birthday for Shedeur Sanders. Check that out. And he's even born in 2002. Gary Trent Sr., the father to Gary Trent Jr., obviously, former NBA basketball player as well. But the father, Gary Trent Sr., was born on the 22nd of September. So 2002 is like 22. And that's amazing. And again, 2-7 with the Shedeur Sanders birthday is like 207. And the full name for Gary Trent Jr. and Ray Allen born the 20th day of the 7th month. That's awesome. And you can see how Ray Allen has that 20 on his jersey, and he was born on the 20th day of the 7th month. You see that? And just another connection, real quick. You notice how Ray Allen, and he played for a few different teams, including the Bucks and the Heat. Off the dome, I just can't remember if there was other teams just at the moment. But you see how he had the Celtics jersey and he played for the Celtics right there? So who was trending recently who had a big game for the Celtics in the playoffs? It was Derek White. And look at Derek White's birthday. Look at that. The second day of the 7th month. Look at that right there. I can't remember, but he had a big game for the Celtics. It was a 30-point game, I believe. I think it was in game 1 against the Magic. I did the breakdown. You can go check that out. But look at his second day, 7th month birthday right there. You see that? And you see Shedeur Sanders has that 2-7 with the February 7 birthday. So you get the second day of the 7th month birthday with Derek White, and you get the second month, 7th day, you get the same numbers, birthday with the trending Shedeur Sanders. And look what I just caught on the fly. And you see all of these characters trending. Look what I just caught on the fly. Look at the place of birth. Parker, a municipality in Colorado. Look at that right there. Okay? Look at how amazing that is right there. So you get the Colorado connection with Derek White, connected with Colorado, the Buffaloes with Shedeur Sanders. And he gets drafted by the Browns. Browns, you get another B. And his father, the coach at Colorado, the Buffaloes. Baltimore, B. Broncos, B. And you get the Colorado connection. You get the same numbers trending with Derek White. Even Boston with the Celtics. Boston, B. And a lot of this stuff is hitting on the fly right now. And wow. And look, Shedeur Sanders gets drafted by the Browns. And look, Derek White. You see that? All by the language, all by the birthdays. Oh my God. Absolutely amazing, man. You get the Browns and you get White. Connected by the numbers, by the birthdays with Shedeur Sanders and Derek White. Holy freaking crap. Don't mind me if I miss something here. But there's a couple more slides. Holy crap, right? Good golly, man. And we're not done with those connections, as I have a couple more slides here. And again, I didn't use the calculator for this breakdown. Wow. You know, it's like I already know I'm going to miss a few things here, as about 30% of this is hit on the fly already. Damn. Look, and you get the 5th round. Remember, 5 quarterbacks drafted before him. Shedeur Sanders. Look at this. Gary Trent Jr.'s got that 5 on his jersey for the Bucks. Look at that right there. And something I missed, I think the Bucks are number 5 in the conference. I think they enter the playoffs. Look at that, 5th in the Eastern Conference. Wow. Whoo. 5 on the jersey for the trending character. Connected to Shedeur Sanders. Drafted in the 5th round, trending. Wow. You know what I'm saying? What is going on here? What is going on here, y'all? Look at the middle name It's like Dewan or Dejan. I'm gonna say it's Dejan for Gary Trent Jr. Look at his middle name, and you see how it equals 39. And I just caught something else as well. So before we go along with this 39, or excuse me, with this 39 slide here, look at the birthday for Gary Trent Jr. 1/18, January 18. Look what I just caught with Derek White. Born in Parker, a municipality in Colorado. Look at over here. This is just odd and really like eerie. Look at the flight from here where I'm at. It says, well, I'm in Mesa, Arizona, but look, from Phoenix, Arizona, it says $118 plus. Isn't that amazing on the fly as I'm doing this breakdown? Because that's the Gary Trent Jr. birthday, 1/18. Isn't that amazing? Look at that again right there. Wow. That's just odd. Holy crap, as I'm doing this breakdown. But look at Gary Dejan Trent Jr. trending with the 9 threes for the Bucks, tying Ray Allen for a playoff record with the Bucks. Look at Dejan, like Deshaun Watson, quarterback of the Browns. So they drafted 2 quarterbacks. So basically, it's over for these characters, basically. And they drafted that other quarterback. What the hell's his name? Is it Dylan? Oh, and Dylan Brooks is trending in the playoffs as well. By the way, who's the quarterback that the Browns selected? Did they say before? Out of Oregon. What the hell's his name? I mentioned it earlier. We'll put Oregon. Oh, Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, number 8. Welcome to Cleveland. Look at that. And that's amazing. God, man. And that's amazing because Dylan Brooks is trending and he's in the playoffs. Wow. Dylan Brooks right here for the Houston Rockets. He is trending in the playoffs as Dylan Gabriel is trending for the draft. And you see Dylan Brooks here. Oh, okay. Looks like he's got the January 22nd birthday, 122. And doesn't National Football League equal 122 on the fly? Football League 122. So look how all of this connects, man. Look how all of this connects. Jeez, Dylan Brooks has the 122 birthday. Wow, man. I'm almost afraid to look at Dylan Gabriel, this other draft. And you see Shedeur Sanders right there. Look at the 82. That's scaring me. You see the 8 with Dylan Gabriel, and you see the 2 there with Shedeur. Wow. You know what? Shannon Sharp had that 82 on the jersey for the Ravens. Look, God, this is... I'm blown away, man. I am blown away here. And look, he's born on the 28th of December, so you get 2/8, and you see the 2 and the 8 on the draft for the Browns with the 2 quarterbacks here. Look at that right there, man. Golly. And what round was he drafted in? I forgot. Dylan Gabriel drafted in what round?
Round 3. According to Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns select Oregon
Round
quarterback
3.
Dylan Gabriel in round 3 of the 2025 NFL Draft with the number 94 overall pick, via a trade with the Buffalo Bills.
And that's Buffalo Bills via trade. And that's more B's. Buffalo Bills. Browns, B. Baltimore, B. Broncos, B. And Colorado Buffaloes. That's amazing. The Buffalo Bills via trade with Buffalo Bills. And Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders connected with the Buffaloes. Holy crap, dude. This is insane. I don't even know where to go from here. And look, the 94th overall pick. Don't forget, Easter equals 94. And last Sunday was Easter Sunday. Look at that. Holy crap, man. So, I mean, I'm about, I'm like blown to bits here. Bits and pieces. And with that third round draft, Dylan Gabriel to the Browns ahead of Shedeur Sanders, like, why? But with that third round, look, this breakdown was about the 3-pointer with Gary Trent Jr. with the Ray Allen connection. 9 threes in a game. Gary Trent Jr. to match Ray Allen's Bucks playoff franchise record. That's something else. Deshaun Watson, Gary, DeJohn, Trent Jr. Wow. 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 I'm not going to go too wild here on the calculator, but we do have a 144 that's hitting extremely heavy with the 144th overall pick. On the fly, I mean, NFL equals 14. That's not like a super major connection. I will enter the full name for Shedeur Sanders over here. Look at that. Shedeur Deion Sanders, 207 on the fly. Remember, his birthday is 2/7, February 7, but Gary DeJohn Trent Jr. equals 207, and Ray Allen's birthday, 2/07, the 20th day of the 7th month. That is absolutely insane. You see the 218 with Shedeur Sanders right there in the reverse cipher? 218. That was the total points scored in the Bucks versus Pacers game. You can go look at that breakdown. I have that breakdown on my channel. I just did the breakdown. And you see right here, the score was 117 to 101. Bucks over the Pacers, 117 plus 101 is 218, and Shedeur Sanders equals 218. Look at how everything is ran on the language. Everything is ran on the language. And the birthdays, holy crap, man. I'm just so. You know what? The 127 hits with Deion Sanders right there, too. Okay, look at Deion Sanders, ABC 123 cipher. Look at the 127. And let me scroll back on these slides right here. Look at that. Sex trafficking scandal 127. Virginia Louise Jufrey 127. Even her first name Virginia 127. Um, as she self deletes herself, right? Synced up with Prince Andrew in the Epstein sex trafficking scandal. Wow. And remember, you get the S's, Deion Sanders, Shannon Sharp, and that lawsuit right there, sexual assault lawsuit. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. All on the fly. Did we? Cleveland Browns has 83 like Shedeur Sanders and 61. Okay? Look at that. Shedeur Sanders 61 and 83. Just like Cleveland Browns. And remember, Cleveland is in Ohio. Ohio equals 61. And you even get that 16 right there. This is absolutely undeniable with these connections. And I just saw, I thought a 160 as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I might have been wrong about that. Browns has 71 like Deion Sanders, Shooter's father. And Virginia, Jufrey's got the 91. And Three Pointers has that 71. So look at how all of this stuff is connected. I'm going to have to leave it at that because I am just I am absolutely blown away by this with all of these connections here. I am blown away. So there's going to definitely be more, but I don't see how there could be. But you know there is. Wow. Absolutely wild. So that's a hell of a breakdown for you, y'all. Without even prior putting any numbers in the Gematrinator calculator. And then on the fly, how we just hit when we did that. I'm not going to go wild and go search for the 144 with the 144th draft pick. I can let you know all of these words that equal 144. I'm not going to do that. Okay? I just don't feel the need to stretch on that. So, holy crap, Shedeur Sanders long wait ends when the Browns take him in the 5th round, of the NFL draft. And remember they say 5 quarterbacks drafted before him. Even the Browns, drafted Dillon Gabriel before him, another quarterback. Jeez. This is Daily Decodes 812. Could you imagine if I wasn't recording? There's no way I could recapture this energy. It looks like I'm good on the mic. And that would be very disappointing if that were the case, wouldn't it? But holy crap. Daily Decodes 812. Math Toucan. You can call me Matthew. Whatever. Just know you got this information from me. Until next time.